Alrighty, let us turn BRB off. Okay, so I'm gonna get this nasty little reflection, or the sunlight coming through the windows, just the way it is. You know what? You know what? You know what? There was something I was gonna do before I came back for to the stream. There was totally something I was going to test or look up or do something or another, but oh, that's right. It was going to be my webcam. The way it looks here, I'm looking at the stream and looking at my recording software. I'm just making sure that I'm not covering anything, and it looks like the placement of it is just fine. So we will leave it be. All right, let's get back into the game here. Okay. So here we are dealing with some kind of cultist. We're going to have to kill the warden. Is that like the warden of a jail? Like as in the warden of the Devil's Crossing jail? The thing that existed before the Grim Dawn? Is that who and what the warden are? I mean, it would kind of make sense. Oh. So if we're fighting cultists, I think they have a chance to drop the thingamabobber. So I do want to backtrack just a little bit. I want to make sure that we explore everything here. So these two like little corridors over here. I kind of wonder how big this place is. Wonder if it's anything like the catacombs, or the jail, or was it the jail? No, it was the catacombs. In Act 1 of Diablo 2.
I can't do that.
God, Ill Omen is so good. Really liking my skeletons are actually just body blocking things. This is the nice thing about having these pets. This place is pretty large. I'm not really sure which direction I'm supposed to go here. I think I just kind of picked a direction and went with it. Which is fair, personally, I feel like. I think we'll try to stick around maybe the mid portion here. So Shepherd's Call has reached rank 2. That's right. I remember seeing like an experience point type of modifier on some of the skills. And I was honestly kind of curious to find out how that worked, if they got experience just from usage. Okay, so here's another question I have. The moment we get through all these enemies here. Okay, I think we got some more spiders over here. Okay, so anyways, let's take a look. Let's hear Grasping Vines with Shepherd's Crook. Okay, maybe we should look at the devotion itself. So experience. I'm gonna have to actually Google this because I'm really curious to find out the way this works. The experience for the skill itself. How does this thing get experience? Does it get experience from kills? From as in like, every time I kill a monster, this thing has a chance of leveling up because it's getting experience points? Or is it just leveling up and getting experience points from when it activates? Or does it only get experience points when it activates and, you know, whatever monster it activates on dies? I guess if that makes sense. Oh, so we have a secret over here. That's why it always pays to rotate your camera. I'm telling you, I swear to God. Hidden spoils. Doomforged breastplate. Okay. Take a look at what that does here in a second. Nice. So it's just like a little loot alcove. So some better armor. Much better armor. Pretty good. Required physique 307. Oh no, wait, excuse me. Just requires level 27. Okay, well... So my problem with this stuff is that by the time we get to level 27, we may just already be finding gear that's pretty much analogous to this, or even better. So that's actually a pretty good ring. It's just not really of interest to me. Okay, so nothing that I'm actually going to use here.
Can't do that yet.
Bullshit. Get in there. Yeah. All those skulls above all their heads, that's all ill omen, baby. I love it because it works like kind of like a disease mechanic. I just get the feeling that ill omen might be one of those kind of hidden gem skills. I just get the feeling that it might be highly underrated. Or maybe it's one of those skills that's really awesome here in the early game, but then it quickly gets outclassed. Although, like, I'm not doing it for the damage. I mean, that's the whole thing, though, right? Now I'm keeping my cursor on all the walls because I'm just making sure. I'm fairly certain that was the only one here, but we'll check nonetheless. Most of these medals here that actually have the bonus to some sort of specific skill, even though we're not going to use it, I'm going to keep it around just for the sake of any other characters that I may end up playing. Oh. So that's interesting. If you look at the mini map here, you can see that there's looks like a crumbling wall kind of thing. I wonder if that's the indicator for this. Oh. Okay. This place definitely has a very interesting and compelling layout. Huh. So we discovered one that had all that gear in it, and I'm thinking it was this one, but it looks like there's another one right over here. We can actually zoom in. So you can tell, like, these little orange spots. And I can tell, I don't know if you guys can tell, I don't know if this comes through. Actually, I'm looking at just the YouTube screen. Oh wait, no, never mind, that was actual room. But over here on the mini map, it's really, really light, but you can kind of see a little variation there. Especially after I discover it and remove the fog. I don't know if that's actually going to come up in the recording itself, because it's really subtle. Did we pull up anything good? God damn it, I just want to just get better gear, but I got all this, like, +2 bonus pet stuff. It's just tempting me so. Wait, is this one of those walls? No, okay. Kind of looked like it through the textures. So it appears this, like, the entire little corner over here is just one big dead end, which is fine. Like I've said it in the past, I would rather actually discover the dead ends first, because usually the dead ends are where you're going to find all the other stuff, all the gear, all the secrets, all the treasure boxes, optional monsters. I just rather get it done with, you know? More map completion, that's probably the most important part, because the moment you start actually completing the map, the moment you can stop actually dicking around with the dead ends. Might have to make a little journey back home to town at some point. So while I'm in no danger now, I know I will be sometime relatively soon. I know there's a big-ass boss here. Fur's Venom Drinker.
That skill's not bad.
Basically, like, face tanked that. Alrighty, we picked up a bunch of gear. Did we get anything good? I don't believe so. Because most of it's looking like the same shite. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to habitually do this. Is I'm just going to start moving the rings and amulets as I see them over to our secondary stash tab over here. Because I'm really tired of going to the vendor and having every ring and amulet being completely glossed over, because it just looks... I don't even pay attention to those icons, because I don't want to sell any of my components, and they're the same size as the component, and there's nothing visually different about them except for the icon itself. Okay, so we can actually see the monsters through this wall. I'm just wondering what's over here. A lot of Ow.
I can't do that yet.
So I can see the star on the minimap. Is that the man? So there's another layer down. Level. Guess there's going to be some kind of staircase. Okay, so that means we are going the right way. I kind of don't want to do that, like I said. As much as I would really like to advance the campaign, I want to be complete with my exploration, so I'm not missing out on anything. Besides, you gotta keep in mind, if you've played through this game a million times and know what you're doing, I have not played through the entire game. So this is all new to me. Oh man, I just ill-omened the right guy. It was perfect. It was one of those big green zombie looking things. They were just about to start charging me. But then I catch that ill omen, baby. Kill off the overmind. Get the overmind. Get him. Yeah. I'm not sure what those things actually do, but I know I don't like them. Maybe it's just their sprite. Maybe that's what it's doing. Just like a psychosomatic type of thing. So we have an untouched meal. Okay. You know, I'm back to what I was saying before about holding off on playing Diablo 2 and just seeing what Blizzard ends up doing with it. And then hoping and praying certain quality of life features gets implemented. You know, after playing Grim Dawn, I'm going to say that playing as a necromancer and playing a pet build, or zoomancer if you like to call it that, it is so much easier to play this build just simply for one feature, not a specific skill, a feature. The pet attack button. Oh my god. Does that make this so much easier, so much more convenient? I mean, it's not even just convenience. It's literally, it changes the very nature of how you play this build, because if you tuned in to my Diablo 2 campaign, or you yourself are familiar with Diablo 2, will no doubt just straight away understand the frustrations of playing a necromancer in that game, because there's no way to control them. You cast them and then they're just straight up AI controlled. And while they're still AI controlled in this game, they're at least manageable. Like, there's a way to actually corral all of my peons. Always so hugely necessary. Oh, look at that. Better pants again. God damn. I feel like that's gonna definitely become a less of a problem the further we go. Okay, so it was just basically a way to connect these two areas. Alrighty. So it looks like we just have a little bit of backtracking to do here. Yeah. So just another gear haul.
My inventory is full.
Natch. Well, I'll pick up the components and then let's combine them. Oakley dokley, let's go back to town.
See anything you like?
How about like merchant summoning scrolls? A consumable item that you can use out in the wilderness to summon some kind of ghostly or otherworldly vendor. Like, holy shit, I would totally just stay out there. Out in the wilderness. I wouldn't even come back to town. I suppose I'll keep it. And this right here. How badass would it be able to find something like this with like shaman or necromancer skills attached to it? I think that's everything that we're going to sell.
See you around.
Getting ever so closer to finally finishing Act 1 here.
Got something you need stashed?
Oh, we had chilled steel. And the little poison bottle. And the snowflake thing. And the big explosion looking thing. And the green gemstone looking thing. And then... I think that's it. Mutated scales. Okay. Just making sure that I don't have any rare crafting materials in my inventory. Because I try to keep those in my stash. I feel like I'm almost getting to that point where I'm going to need to make a mule character.
I'll hold on to that for you.
Okay, so we're good to go here. We're full up on skeletons. Inventory looks great. Let us proceed. You know, that's definitely something I've noticed when I've watched other people play this game. Is that I feel like when I watch other people play, it makes me feel like I'm just really anal retentive. Or just like have obsessive compulsive personality disorder or something, because here I am just compulsively picking up all of this stuff. Like, what am I going to do with that rare sword that I find? The answer is nothing. Nothing. Okay, so this is another one of those rooms where... Wow. The ground is lava. Alright, well, let's just... Whoa, holy fuck. Did you see that? My goddamn life. I was sitting there, like, just standing in it. I didn't realize it. Motherfucker. Holy shit, my heart skipped a beat there. I'm like, wow, there goes the rest of our campaign. Because floor is lava bullshit. You know, when it comes to, like, the design decision for something like that, like, I understand. And I actually kind of like it. I kind of like having environmental hazards. But I really wish there was something in this game that gave me some kind of audio or visual goddamn feedback letting me know that I was fucking taking damage because I was standing in something. It's really goddamn simple. It's really simple. And I'm not talking about just the visual feedback of my life rapidly decreasing either. It really pisses me off. Because it just makes it feel like the developers just don't really give a fuck. And don't want you to play hardcore characters because they're going to be stupid shit like that. You could say, well, maybe it was just an oversight or something like that. Bullshit. Here we go again, taking a lot of damage. Something was affecting me there. I'm not sure what it was. I'm thinking it was probably like enemy dots. But we got lucky there. We got all of our tonics of mending and all that. Which restored all of our constitution. No. And I will say that, like, you know, the problems that I'm dealing with this game, the criticisms I have, it's not just exclusive to this game. Path of Exile is like that. Like, Path of Exile has, like, the most, like, generic and just boring, chintzy sounding sound effects that, like, the audio-visual feedback of certain actions are just awful. They're terrible. They just sound like shit. I didn't realize that coming over here to the Estates was going to be a multi-tiered dungeon. I had no idea. A part of me kind of thought it was going to be something like this, right? Nice, we got another corpse dust. Because that's the way Diablo 2 did it, and I'm always, like, tailor-made to think like that. But then there was the rational part of my mind that was thinking, it's probably not fair. I should try to judge this game based upon its own merits. Maybe they'll do something different. Nope. That's why I say,
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
It's such a better thing to be cynical in this world. You save yourself so many times of just being utterly disappointed. Because of dumb shit like that. The only reason why I came back to town was just because I did not know that there was going to be another one of these rift gates. I figured we've already activated the last one, but apparently not. I might as well take the opportunity. It's kind of like going on a road trip and just making sure that you go potty right before you go. You know, real basic shit. So obviously this connects to this entire thing over here. Why don't we go to the left? To the left, to the left. All my stuff in the closet. Down to the left. I don't remember the lyrics, something like that. Let's get the boss. Get the boss. Go get him, guys!
Can't do that yet.
Bullshit. Can. Kind of a cool looking skill. Okay. So, better flat armor. Damn, I really just want to find one of these things. Oh wait, no, this is actually a melee weapon. Never mind. I thought that was one of the offhands. Sometimes some of those wands and the offhands, they look very similar. Okay, so we connect over here. So we got a breakable wall over here. It wasn't painfully obvious. It's like one of those Castlevania moments. Do you want to consume the wall meat? Yes or no? I think we're going to leave the untouched meal alone. We're going to leave it there in case I absolutely positively need it. But we do have hidden spoils. And this whole broken wall thing over here wasn't, like, colored differently on the minimap. So every once in a while, I'm probably going to have to use my, or hover the pointer over the walls just to make sure. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got some new shoulder armor, new gun. Very disappointing. No new gear. You know, I don't remember if I actually found any new gear upgrades on the previous stream. Because if I remember correctly, I think the last time I actually got gear upgrades were when I was just playing by myself before I started to explore the rest of Burrwitch Village. And it was just those few times. Okay, so we got a devotion shrine over here. I kind of want to actually do the devotion shrine like right now. It's a ruined shrine, so this is where I put in the item. We have to offer it 2 aether crystals. Swing. So here's the thing. If we already have access to the NPC that allows me to respec mastery points and devotions, then I'm going to want to do that because we completed Shepherd's Crook, which gives me the 5 ascendancy points, which basically means I can take off this, the crossroads here, and which means I can spec that point into something else. And wherever I'm going to go next, I'm not sure. I've noticed that most builds tend to go for, let's see here, Dying God. Dying God is a big one. Especially the Hungering Void. I don't know if that's the way I want to go. Because from what I've understood is Hungering Void, it does something to your health. Like I don't know if it's like a percentage of your health that gets set aside, kind of like some of your skills, like the Madrogan's Pact. Or if it's just like a constant drain. I don't know. But I know it's constantly in a lot of people's builds. There was another one around. There was another one around here. Maybe it was Abomination. I swear to God there was another one. No. Oh yeah, Ratosh here. I think. You have the Staff of Will of Ratosh. Wasn't there? I think there was another constellation. Wasn't there one called or it gave you a skill called the Staff of Ratosh? I've seen that in a lot of people's builds.